Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest edition of the Broad Street Line. We are glad to be back here with you this week for another hour here on WPPM LP Philadelphia, Philly Cam Radio. Back in the house, back in the saddle once again. I am Roy Burton, and the other voice you'll hear in a second is my good friend and co-host Chris Domingo. Mr. Domingo, how are you doing this fine Saturday morning, sir?
Roy, I'm doing tremendous. I'm feeling thankful and full. I was going to say, between Thanksgiving Eve, because that's a day when people are known to enjoy themselves.
True.
And New Year's Day, because, of course, people do the mummers thing. I know you're a big fan of that.
Always. Huge fan.
What percentage increase intake of food and or drink you think occurs during
increase between in the holiday season?
Yeah. 15% at least?
Oh, more than that, because people go crazy. Because here's the thing.
So obviously that's why people January 2 or January 3rd or whenever they want to delay it is, okay, I got to get on some gym regimen or some fitness regimen.
That's why you see all the Planet Fitness, 24-hour fitness, Bally's, whatever. All the ads come out because everybody's like, look, I ate a lot at Thanksgiving. I ate a lot at Christmas, or I ate a lot of Hanukkah, I ate a lot at my office Christmas parties. I ate a lot of New Year's. Now I got to get back in shape. I got to get back on the grind,
Because I realize, man, you do just enjoy yourself a whole lot more during the holidays.
No, you do. The holidays are great. It's a great time of year. You have family and friends and food, I guess the three Fs, if you will. And, of course, on Thanksgiving, you have the other F, which is football. You got plenty of great football on Thanksgiving as well. So it's a lot of stuff going on. And like you said, it's not a lot of activity because it's dark outside. You don't go outside and move around and exercise a lot. So the pounds just come on and on and on. And that's why you need January 2 or 3 or whatever, like you said, to get back on your grind, your New Year's resolution to get back on that.
So I want to think, what is Nelson Aguilar's New Year's resolution?
Wow, that's a good question. That's a very good question. We're going to have to talk about that later in the show because, of course, one of the big things...
Because I think that's a topic that I think some people just argue about. They're like, are we too hard on our athletes?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's... I mean, you can make compelling reasons for both, but we will get into it.
Yeah, there's because Philadelphia has a reputation of being difficult on its athletes. So we'll talk about whether or not Philadelphia fans are hard on their athletes, and whether or not we should boo our athletes. Because a lot of people, aren't big fans of booing, saying fans shouldn't boo. We should support our athletes no matter what. That's a little bit of a debatable topic, so we'll get into that as well. Of course, we're going to talk some Sixers because they are now streaking. 2 wins. They were streaking. They had 2 wins in a row. They had 4 wins in 11 days. We'll get on them as well. Of course, Joel Embiid got pulled from a game the other night due to his minutes restriction, and we'll debate whether or not.
He was as angry as if someone were if the sweet potato pie was gone.
It's like if the sweet potato pie is gone, or if you have a plate, right? You've made your
dropped
plate.
it.
No, if you made your plate, right, and then somebody comes out the kitchen with something else that you didn't see that you really wanted on your plate, and your plate's already made. Sometimes you get a little upset. Like I get a little upset. It's like, where were the yams? Like who had the yams? Like I didn't see that when I was in there making my plate. So that's how Joel Embiid was. He's a little bit more angry than that after that game on Wednesday night. And, of course, since we're talking about Thanksgiving, we got to talk about the shopping season in the NBA. And we're going to give out gifts in honor of the holiday season because we're very magnanimous guys, I would say. We're going to give out gifts to the local Philadelphia teams. We're gonna find out from Santa. We're gonna get Santa's list.
Yeah, we're gonna jump on Santa's lap. Like if we were to go to a local mall, because I think that still happens, right?
That still happens, and now you have to pay for it. I don't think it's free if you want the picture.
It was free before?
Wasn't it free?
No,
I thought it was free. Maybe
because I know that they had that thing a couple years ago where I guess people were paying I think it was some mall. And I think they were, I guess, up in arms that you had to pay so much.
It was they were gouging people. It was $60 or something. But I thought it maybe when I was a kid. I never paid for it when I was a kid. So
yeah.
I was a kid.
And that being said, not to make myself Scrooge, but I never enjoyed that.
It's not an enjoyable thing.
No, because I still remember when I was 8. And there was a Santa at one of these things. I was one of those kids that was crying because I was like, "Why am I on the lap of some random ass
rando?"
Yeah, and I'm like,
"Rando Claus."
Yeah, no, but but that once again, Christmas is big business, and we're gonna and because most of these teams need something from Santa.
And we are playing Santa again. We are Black and Asian Santa. Roy Burton, Chris Domingo here, the Broad Street Line, 106.5 FM. We are playing Santa today. We're going to give out some gifts early because some of these teams really need these gifts before we turn the clock to 2017. So plenty of stuff to get to today on the Broad Street Line. Please check us out here on Philly Cam Radio each and every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We're on from 10 to 11 each Saturday. You can listen to us here, or you can check us out on our on the web at thebsline.com. You can also check us out on Spreaker.com, the Broad Street Line. We are also on each and every Wednesday at 6 p.m. That's our Rated R Superstar show for the stuff that we can't say on here because of the FCC. But you can catch all of us online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by subscribing to us on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio, and on TuneIn Radio. Again, he is Chris Domingo. You follow him online on Twitter at SKD215.
18 plus only, guys.
18 plus only, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow me. It's the G-rated edition of the Broad Street Line Twitter feed at thebsline.com. All right, it is time. I'm sorry, at the BS Line, excuse me. At the BS Line on Twitter. It is time to get into our 4 for 4 segment, which will break down the 4 big stories that you'll be talking about over the past week, or that you talked about over the past week. And we got to get back to these Sixers. 2 games. They won 2 games in a row. They won 4 games in a row at home.
Which I can't even remember the last time that happened.
It was a couple years ago, which I thought it was longer than that. But it actually happened a couple years ago, which is a little bit surprising to me. But it is what it is. And 4 games in 11 days, which, again, I don't know the last time that happened because it was really a long time since that happened. Now, let me just ask you a question before we kind of break it down a little bit. Is 2 games in a row a winning streak? Does that meet your definition of winning streak?
Winning streaks are relative, Roy. And for this team, they haven't had many winning streaks. So, like, I could say for the Eagles,
yes,
2 games is not a winning streak.
But 2 games in a 16-game season, though, that's impressive.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that's streakish.
So, but say the Phillies won 2 in a row in a series. Is that considered a winning streak?
No, I think you're right. I mean, I think it's kind of relative in that the Sixers don't win ever. So when you win 2 in a row, that's a streak.
Regardless. So say the Golden State Warriors won 2 games. Is that considered a winning streak for the Golden State Warriors?
No.
That's like give me 5 more.
Yeah, like I'm not impressed. That doesn't impress me.
With that being said, I mean, the fact that and the thing I could say about this team is they're pretty, and I don't know whether it's Embiid or just the professional players they have on this team. The team is pretty resilient. I mean, like, they're probably a little under-talented, but I mean, I can say without a shadow of a doubt,
yes,
that they are more watchable than they have been. Heck, since not even that last Doug Collins year, because that last Doug Collins year was a disaster too.
Right. No, this is the most watchable team.
I mean, they almost beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah, like this is a team again that beat the Pacers, beat the Wizards, beat the Suns, and beat the Heat in a span of 11 days again. And these teams are, I mean, they're varying degrees of decent, but I mean, like, they're not terrible teams. The Sixers, talent-wise, probably aren't on the level of maybe the Wizards. The Wizards stink, but I mean, talent-wise, the Sixers aren't markedly better than any of these teams.
Didn't we say we wanted the Sixers to be at stink level, not awful historic stink level?
Unwatchable level, no.
No,
stink level.
They stink.
Yeah, they stink, and that's fine. That's okay.
No, nothing after stink, right. Nothing before stink.
Yeah,
they
no
stink.
Qualifiers, nothing. They stink, and that is what it is, and that's okay. Like, we'll live with that. They have 4 wins this year. Their 4th win this year came on November 21st. Last year, the 4th win of the season, and I say season because it was a different calendar year, came January the 4th.
So what you're saying is people started their 2016 fitness regimen before the Sixers got their 4th win.
People were getting right for the summer before the Sixers won 4 games. People were taking their gifts back to the store, the Christmas. Aaron Rodgers was getting ready to mail his gifts back to his mama before the Sixers won game number 4 last season. That's how long it took.
That's progress.
This is progress.
And I'm going to venture to say that by January 4th of this year,
yeah,
they will have 9 wins.
You're really optimistic about this.
I'm invested in this team again. And I see they can't hold a lead.
No.
ever.
No.
There's no such thing as an insurmountable lead against the Philadelphia 76ers.
No.
But they are, and I think it will come in time, is they got to be better at crunch time. I mean, some of the plays that, and maybe it's just not relaying from the clipboard to the floor. But man, some of the stuff they run at crunch time is not good.
You know who is a good crunch time team now? Your Temple University Owls, Philadelphia's Temple University Owls. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you for the first time on the WPPM LP airwaves your preseason NIT champion, Temple Owls men's basketball team. Shout out to Fran Dunphy. Shout out to the Temple Owls for winning 2 games against ranked teams in 2 days. A very impressive feat, beating West Virginia, beating Florida State late, both games late, holding on to leads late. Just an excellent job by the Temple Owls.
Doesn't this set up for like a potentially special season? Like I mean, like usually you want this momentum early in the season,
right,
to say, okay, usually you have an assessment. We're like, we're this good or we're that good. Maybe I think Temple is better than we thought they were.
They're better than I thought they were. I mean, again, they lost a lot of scoring last year. Again, you got a couple of guys like Sean Austin, a couple of new guys stepping up. Josh Brown's hurt, but he'll be back. You have a couple of guys who didn't give you a lot last year that you're relying on to do some stuff this year. But you have guys who have been in the Dunphy system for a while. Obi Echionia, you got Austin. You have a couple other guys who've been in the system who understand what needs to be done. So I mean, like this, like again, like Fran Dunphy. He's kind of like John Chaney in the fact that he schedules his team, like a lot of tough tests early to kind of see where you are early and then get you ready for like that late season push.
But remember, Roy, and for all the years that when Temple was a perennial tournament team, remember the teams that no one wanted to play?
Right.
Temple.
Right. No one wanted to touch Temple.
Can we get back to that point where obviously we're never going to – I won't say never, but I mean more likely than not, never going to be that upper top 10 team. But can Temple actually come through on not being a team people want to play?
I think they can. And the thing, like back during the Chaney era when they were that team no one wanted to play, they were rarely a top 10 team. I mean, they weren't considered, one of the 10 best teams in the nation. I mean, they'd kind of be in the back end of the top 25, but they were just that team that like, if you came into Philly or if they came to your building, they hit you with that matchup zone that like you just weren't ready for it. And I think they could be that kind of team.
Because isn't that another part of the equation is when they don't want to play you, you sometimes win.
Right. When they don't want to play you, sometimes you pull a couple of wins out, and then that gives you your 21, 22 wins, whatever you need to get to the dance that counts. Anyway, and then as you said, hopefully, but you said before the show, hopefully this early season success by the Temple, and being the team that people may not want to play going forward, hopefully that translates into late season success in the dance.
Maybe I will attend some games this year.
I mean, Fran Dunphy's not a miracle worker. I mean, like he can't move mountains. He can't part rivers. He's only so much the man can do. Okay, I don't know if that's within his realm of things that are possible here at Temple. But I want to kind of spin off this. Actually, I didn't tell you. I meant to tell you before the show, but I want to talk about rivalries because this is rivalry week in college football and high school football and a lot of other sports. And I was thinking about this as I was thinking about the Temple Owls. The only real rivalry the Temple Owls have is the Big Five, and that's a local rivalry. Are there any local Philadelphia rivalries that merit discussion in any sport? Because I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, all right, Eagles fans hate the Cowboys or whatever.
But to be honest,
Cowboys don't hate us.
That's a one-sided rivalry.
It is.
Like the Cowboys-Redskins, that's a rivalry.
Yeah.
I guess the Eagles-Giants.
But did the Giants really hate us like that? Do they hate the Redskins more? They hate the Cowboys more?
So
we hate other teams.
So a definitive,
like
two-sided,
yes.
We hate you guys rivalry.
Hatfields and McCoys,
no?
Michigan, Ohio State. They're scratching out M's in the entire state of Michigan, of Ohio. They're scratching out every letter M anywhere in Ohio because of the game today, Ohio State and Michigan. We don't have anything close to that in any sport.
Well, the Sixers used to have that with the Celtics.
Right, used to.
Yeah. Well, you have to be a rival if you're good.
So wait, both teams have to be good. Is that a rule?
Or no, relevant.
All right, so both teams have to be relevant. So if the Sixers were relevant and the Celtics were relevant.
Yeah, say I don't know, in the like Atlantic Division.
Yeah.
That both teams are vying for a playoff spot.
Okay.
17 years. Okay. Like I mean, and